So you may or may not have heard the ETF, the CBOE one, um, which was from that company. Where's it at? Where's it at? The Van Eck Group with a Solid X has been, well, not postponed, but the Security and Exchange Commission needs another 45 days or so, pushing that August 16th date that we were hoping for. Maybe we'll get approval out to September or early October. I don't know the exact date. So, we were just talking the other day about all these things happening, and that thing is delayed over here. And oh, here's an interesting story where this club member group is gearing up to do something with crypto that would kind of relate to that thing over there, but they're pushing that one back, kind of like this ETF, if you know what I'm saying. And quick look surprise, the ETF is being delayed. Now, we didn't need an ETF to move the crypto prices. It was never needed. So when this news came out, which it says August 7th, so that's when the crypto market took a nice bath, bloodbath that is, based off of the news, the SEC news, their decision regarding the Bitcoin exchange traded fund. They postponed it. They've postponed the decision, and that news alone is going to push this market down that hard. We didn't need an ETF before. The whole crypto market moving forward is not even kind of contingent on an ETF. It does make it that much more sweet if it happens. At least we think so, right? All the money that could easily flow in. But it's not contingent on that. So why the hell did this bloodbath happen just based off that news? See the first thing I said. Let's go back to that. We got the NASDAQ or ICE. Once you run the exchange, whatever, own it. We've got this ETF. All things need to be timed correctly, so they just work out just dandy. And again, when is it going to happen? When it's supposed to happen. When they decide it's supposed to happen. You think this postponement was really, well, we really need to look into a lot of the questions we had, the insurance, and make sure that, the CBOE has everything we need. They have everything they need. This ETF should be approved. Again, Tika even said so. He said, I'm telling you it's going to get approved. This one will get approved. They're not saying they're not going to approve it. They're just saying we're postponing. We know we said 45 days, but we need a little more time. Give me time. Do you really want to postpone me? Because you just made all the Bitcoin fans cry. The U.S. Security and Exchange Commission has postponed its decision, this is from Cointelegraph.com, postponed its decision on the listing and trading of a Bitcoin exchange-traded fund known as an ETF until September 30th, it says, according to an official document released by the Security and Exchange Commission as of August 8th. So it's the very end of September. Again, isn't it interesting? The psychic stuff, all that, end of September and forward should start to get good for cryptos. And when I talk to you guys about, September, if this market's lackluster, I may have to really consider, maybe I'll unload a ton of the crypto I have just to pay this house off and then have very little crypto left over, And when Sharon Michelle heard me say that, she goes, Joe, she talked to me, said, I know you said that, it makes sense, but man, I think that's when it's going to start getting good. That's like the very start point. So she says, I feel like if you do that, right after you do that, you'll be wondering kind of, why did I do that? So I should have just waited a little bit longer. And I said, yeah, I understand. And again, seeing what I've seen over the last couple of months, I don't think I would be able to do that because, again, the amount of unbelievably good news would make me say, again, why use a lot of crypto to pay off a house when if I'm, again, patient, I got a fuse this long, remember that? If I'm patient, which I am, very patient, it's this one over here that wants this stupid house paid off. I wanted it back in December. Go ahead and say it. Let's hear what Mama has to say. Say it. Just go ahead and say it for the people that want to hear your sweet voice. Come on, say it. They don't know you're next to me. They think I'm talking to nobody. Say something. Say something, I'm giving up on you. Evelyn wanted me to pay the house off. ETFs are securities that track a basket of assets proportionately represented in the fund's shares. They are seen by some as a potential step forward for the mass adoption of cryptocurrencies as a regulated and passive investment instrument. The fund under consideration is powered by investment firm VanEck and financial services company SolidX and is expected to list on the Chicago Board of Exchange, or CBOE, BZX Equities Exchange. The SEC now has almost 2 more months to consider a proposed rule change by CBOE Global Markets Inc. that would allow the fund to list. Today's notice states that the SEC has received more than 1,300 comments on the proposed rule change to list the trade shares of SolidX BTC shares issued by the VanEck SolidX Bitcoin Trust per the document within 45 days of filing of a proposed rule change or within 90 days should the Commission deem necessary. And the Commission has deemed necessary. The Commission will approve, disapprove, or extend the period of consideration. So they're asking for the 90-day basically instead of the 45-day, which yes puts us out to the very end of September. Again, isn't that just funny? We've been hearing about the end of September for how long? About these, the psychics anyways. And even Michelle Whitedove back in February, end of February, when she did she finally did her first blog post about crypto specifically, she gave it to me. I talked about it, then she posted it. They held back just to get the realist news on it. But September, October, we've asked her numerous times. Other people have asked her. Not till the fall time frame. And yes, here we are this week, Monday and Tuesday, Bull Pony. Not quite. Did not get this one right. But sometimes he does. And again, it's worth mentioning to talk about, discussion, why he thinks so, whatever. Does that change the outlook on this stuff? No. You saw my video earlier, Wednesday morning, whatever. And on my way to work. Nothing has changed. But this is supposedly the news that crashed the markets. What about the 10th and 11th we kept hearing about that this big dip was going to happen? And I said it a few times now. Early, like over the weekend, what if this happens early, guys? May get worse on the 10th or 11th, but what if this dip starts to happen early? Or what if it does happen early and ends early? So, for example, $6,300 Bitcoin currently, maybe that's it. We're at the bottom now. I mean, it did touch 6,100, whatever, bounced right back up immediately. But, roughly speaking, $6,300. Just to give you the specifics, I can just quickly pull it up. 63.54 at this moment in time. How about our boy Litecoin? $63. Now, I just paid with some Litecoin for the event, the Litecoin Summit in September. I'm not concerned about this. They're not concerned about this. Charlie Lee is moving forward. The Litecoin Foundation is moving forward. Again, in the future, and I only mean a few years at best, we're going to look back at these times. Specifically 2018. I'm pretty sure it's going to be 2018 that everyone looks back on as like this defining moment, or this moment of, or a year, really not a moment, but a time period of, man, there was big ups and big downs, and then we think a rally was coming back and it'd go back down again, then another rally would start and it'd go back down again. And it wasn't like it went up to make higher highs. It actually went to try to get back to the highs and never made it back down. Then the previous high, almost there, not quite. Now we're on the third time, which I'll just pull this chart up because I do want to show you what I'm talking about. Right in here. Let me switch screens. Oh my gosh, psychedelic, dude. Right, so beginning of the year. Right here we've got 11,492. tries to come back up again, doesn't quite make it, 9,700, down, up again, tries to make it, now we can't even get to 97, right, over here, 98, 99, whatever. Best we got was 8,500 briefly on that one day, and now we're back down to the, again, 63 something, 63.57. So point of me telling you that is like, well, man, it would be nice if we got back to that, but again, we're talking potential Wall Street cheat sheet, a complete market cycle. And the Wall Street cheat sheet said that last dip is the lowest of that particular cycle after you've already peaked. So then recovery starts. So wouldn't it be just funny? September rolls around and I'm not falling for this rally. This ain't no rally. It's going down again, but it's the real one. October, November, December. Hey, we're going to find out. I'm not going to say that I know 100% on this date and that time, but all the infrastructure being built, all the great news coming out. This is not for nothing. And again, this whole thing with this announcement from the SEC, oh, we're going to postpone it, to cause this kind of crash. Again, the whole market wasn't even contingent on this thing. It meant nothing. It was just a bonus. So those markets should have said, oh, that's fine. We'll just keep chugging along the way we were. No, blood red. There were some coins down 25% earlier today. I had to do a Patreon post about one in particular that I was looking at to deem, not deem, but figure out, do I jump in this sucker today, tomorrow, the next day? A little discussion over on my Patreon account about that. But, basically I do what I always do. Oh, we got a blood red day today. Let me sort on CoinMarketCap the worst performing ones, the ones that are down the hardest, and which ones are they? Because if I don't like them, well, too bad, so sad, I'll try again another time. If I do recognize one or two, like, I recognize that coin, I know what it is, it's done okay, I think I'm going to jump on that sucker. So that when the recovery starts, boom, it's back up. So these things, again, there's a couple in the 20s. There's more than a couple. There's a few in the 20s. One was 24, 25%, another one. And I was looking at it and I said, you know what, there's one in particular I wanted to take a peek at. And anyways, a little discussion, brief discussion on Patreon. So you can't be scared in these markets. You either make a move, either with the big dogs, or you sit on the porch. But and one of the things I discussed in the Patreon was, do we wait? Because I had I'll say a friend, because I met the guy once. He came to spray bugs at my house, the pest control, just because, I just said, well, I've been living here for however many months now, and almost a year actually. Haven't had that done. Let me call a service. So he came over. He ends up leaving with some free Litecoin, Jason M4 style. But he was psyched up about it. He's like, yeah, I want to do some investment. So I get this phone call today, and today being Wednesday, I didn't recognize the phone number, but it was him. I said, oh, hey, So he's like, hey, he's looking on Coinbase just to do the basics, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, that whole thing. And I told him go a little heavier on Litecoin. So again, it's getting pounded harder than the other one. That's the one that I want. It always has worked out for me to date, by the way. When I look at these things that are pounded the hardest, if it's a coin that I recognize and I feel like okay, we know that one. It has always worked out when I do this. And then the thing rallies in a day or two, and it's like, oh, there's all my profit. Thank you. Have a nice day. But he says, what should I do? It's down today. I feel like I should buy something right now. I should do it. So basically, I said, look, here's two ways. There's a couple ways you can do this. You can say, okay, it's at a great price right now. Let me just go ahead and pull the trigger. And all the funds you have that you were ready to buy, you just spend them all right now. The other way to do this, because what if it goes down more? We still got 3-4 more days, right? 10th, 11th, 12th time frame. What if it goes down more? And I mean the whole market, but along with that would come Litecoin. I said, so if you do nothing today, I said, I'm going to try to give you the safest thing, but at the same time, a very smart thing. Take half your money and buy the exact amounts you wanted of those three in the order, which I always tell them go a little heavier on Litecoin, but do half the money you have, not all of it. Okay? Watch it throughout the day. Watch it tomorrow. See if it seems like it's starting to recover. If it starts to go up a little bit, you may want to go ahead and make the decision. Let me go ahead and buy the rest of it. You cost average just a hair above where you got in, but at least you got it, the first one cheaper. Second one, it's so close it doesn't really matter. Now, if by chance the market goes down even further, you've already placed your order today, you watch it tomorrow, the next day, oh, the market's going down again. It's going down lower than when I got in 2 days ago. Okay. Watch it. See if you can chase it down. And do another buy order. Now you got more Litecoin and Bitcoin and Ethereum than you would have if you spent all your money on, today or, the 8th or whatever. So I said, there's risk and reward, and there's safe and smart, and there's different ways to do this. You could just say, look, there's 63 freaking dollars, dude. I'm going to just spend it all. Go for it. I'm with you. I hear you. I'm with you. But if you want to try to, make every penny count, think about what I just told you. It's a decent strategy. It's a real good strategy, actually. So, at the same time, oh, maybe it got to $58. Oh, crap, I could have saved a few bucks. Fine. But in the future, $58, $63, $65, $70, it's really not going to matter. I don't believe it's going to matter one bit when these things go, when these prices rocket. So, anyways, little chat, the whole SEC thing, I'm not buying it. So I had another thought. I'll end this with this last thought. And that was, okay, we know about Tether, USDT. And $250 million of extra Tether was just created not too long ago. Every other time the Tether was created, the markets went up. And sure enough, the markets actually did go up. But let's just think about this. You got all this free money, so to speak, created. They haven't really proved that they had the real money backing it. So for all we know, all these exchanges have this fake money for free that they get to have. And let's just say they're out there buying up all kinds of crypto assets this whole time with that free money. And they can buy and sell and buy and sell, never using any of their own real money. They can move the market like that, right? I mean, you got free money, technically USDT. You can move the market any way you want. So let's just say, again, I can't say I can prove this at all, but it's just a thought. They can dump, they can go make it go up. It doesn't matter because it's free money. It doesn't hurt them. Meanwhile, they're collecting all these crypto. They push the market down, they're just collecting more crypto for free. And, we're letting our club members get in the fire sale at this BS news from the SEC that we're going to make sure we hammer the markets hard this time to really do a number on it based off of this ETF news, which is nonsense. This isn't even the news we got like, the South Korea's, they're shutting down the exchanges temporarily or, remember that? Oh, market's down. This is worse than those days on something that we didn't even have. It's not like we had the ETF and the SEC came out and said, we're going to go ahead and cancel that. We're shutting it down due to such and such reason. So the ETF's going to go away. I would expect some market movement like we saw. But there's no ETF. It didn't even exist. So I'm telling you, everything happens when certain people in the world at the top want it to happen, how they want it to happen, and again, when specifically they want it to happen. So just think about these things. You should be an absolute expert to where this don't even faze you anymore. Emotions, you should be like numb, literally numb to it. Like even me when I'm out here being positive, you look over, oh man, it's down, whatever. I look at it now and I don't even get that little smidgen of a feeling of, oh yeah, sure. Because I'm seeing the future. I'm seeing where this is going. And it takes a lot of this up and down and the emotional roller coaster to get to that point where you're an OG, like a serious OG, you know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of y'all are some serious OGs, but like I was saying earlier with Greg Manarino, he's like, I've had enough. I'm getting out of the market. Oh, Greg. Right now is a good time to get into the market. But everybody's their own man, you know what I'm saying? And I love Greg. Greg's a good guy. So with that, off to the next one. Take care.